most people in general pisses me off on this earth. To be honest, like literally 90%, like I kid you not. People aren't like human no more. People are like robots, people are careless, and of course we all know this during the time frame of the season. God's return, people would be obsessed with themselves, like really careless, like very evil. And a lot of people are evil, and a lot of people are just fake, and a lot of people are discriminatory, and it's just really people aren't isn't humane. But the most thing out of every last thing that fucking pisses me off, excuse my language, putting the Bible down, I don't even curse, is when people say I don't have a freaking disability. And like they get real mad when I say I got a disability, but all the proof is in the pudding. I done literally had since before trying to fix it, I had literally one job, which was Walmart. And at that time frame, I stopped working a second job because I always worked as a teacher assistant. And before working in the public, it was daycares and YMCAs and Boys and Girls Clubs. Actually, the YMCA was afterwards. And I believe I got it from the Boys and Girls Club in this daycare church where I held my bladder because they wouldn't let me go for like an hour. The other one, who knows how long. And of course, I could have walked off the job. And they know like you would get like a record, which bump it. That's why I try to advocate for people. But anyways, um, out of all the people in the world, that bothers me because of their hearts. I don't care about people looks and stuff. I care about people hearts. It's basically like Jesus. I'm not comparing myself to Jesus Christ, or like him. Like people are literally in the office comparing Trump to freaking Jesus Christ, which he's freaking not. He's not. He don't even love Jesus. Trump is being used by Jesus to fulfill prophecies. Obviously, the war. Anyways, it just really freaking pisses me off. And like I said, nobody knows your struggles except God. And obviously, people who I actually work with or I've lived with. That's why I'm literally choosing to be homeless instead of living with a friend or a grandmother because they have no freaking idea. No idea. When they don't think it's that bad. You have no freaking idea. Why do you think I've had numerous jobs because of not being, I've had 100 jobs due to being picky, okay? But once I got hit with a disability, it's because of the disability. I've done work that, and Target really didn't discriminate me until they found out I wasn't going to work the cashier because you can't, and I did do it one last time at a company working the cashier and not being able to go to the bathroom. And this was around the holiday. I'm calling to go freaking pee and couldn't. It's a long line. And like I said, advocate for people to just walk up off that job and just get fired instead of holding it like me. But I've worked numerous stores and even a cleaning company, not working alone, dealing with discrimination. Where if I do get a cleaning job, it has to be alone because I'm getting discriminated against. And right now, I can't even get that type of job because it's bi-weekly and I need something weekly. So I'm like in a tight spot, but it is what it is. Like, if I have to go back to a freaking shelter and then, which I don't want to do, I'll that's the only thing I have to do. And of course, I can't go to two different ones and one freaking hold you hostage and let people bully you. The same thing with the second one. But anyways, and of course, I would have to do the daily one until it's another room available because I've been down this route before. Anyways, lastly, it's just really frustrating when people literally, and like a lot of people say, oh, why you didn't apply to this? Well, you gotta prove you have this disability. Because they'll literally be like, you ain't got no disability because we don't see no record. So, anyways, I was working on it at a shelter, but I ended up getting kicked out for sticking up for myself. So I may have to do the whole process because it's been a year now. I will have to do most likely the whole process over again, which I plan on doing. And, it could take 1 to 3 years. Everybody know about, and it's not because I don't want to work. I've been working with a bladder infection on top of it. I've worked for 4 months while I've been homeless. Before having a bladder infection, I couldn't work.